We just assume Jalen Hurts is good with it because he's proven to be good with it at this point. And I'm at the point where I'm going to start to say, well, that doesn't mean he's always going to be good with it.
Appreciate you streaming in here on Birds 365 on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel, where Johnny Mackley asked them to
like, share, and subscribe.
We could use your help. We appreciate your fandom. We appreciate you being an individual who joins us from time to time. Join us more often. And when you're here, do the right thing by your boys. Even though some people will probably say, not after Marcus says, I'm sorry, I like Marcus.
I love Marcus.
I
Marcus
disagree with him a lot, but it's fun to disagree with him and get into it. And we did that with Marcus, which is why we have Marcus on.
Always. I like opinionated people who aren't afraid to give their opinion, because too many people are afraid these days. But yeah, so I got into some non-Eagles stuff, but it's fun every once in a while. You got to throw that in there. Chris Olave visiting today. There's your Eagle stuff. Chris Olave.
Ooh, that's a good name to know that they're bringing in. But I want to get a football point in, potentially Eagle related, because it was something we talked about with Marcus. No, you and I have talked about this before, and others have. This is not breaking news, but people have postulated the churn of quarterback in the National Football League, that the price of playing poker at the quarterback position, and it's not just the hard number of 50 million plus, it's even more important, the percentage of the salary cap you're going to dedicate to the quarterback position just continues to go up and up and up and up and up. And some have said maybe the better way to do it is you draft a quarterback for 5 years, and then when the 5th year comes, you say, okay, see you later, bye, and you just draft another quarterback. Yeah. And you go back down that road.
I've been in that camp. I think that might be the way to go, but I forget who brought it up. I think it was Ben Solak. So if it wasn't, I apologize. But, you know, he did bring up a good point that, and I kind of said this with Marcus a little bit earlier, we just assume Jalen Hurts is good with it because he's proven to be good with it at this point. And I'm at the point where I'm going to start to say, well, that doesn't mean he's always going to be good with it. But from a larger standpoint, if you take that college model, what are the odds that you're going to get a Jalen Hurts type, a Jalen Hurts type, a Jalen Hurts type all in a row versus the Carson Wentz type personality or the Baker Mayfield type personality, which is what I brought up with Marcus,
right?
Who's, out there saying he got no respect from the Browns and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's more likely than getting a Jalen Hurts who just keeps his head down and goes to work and pretends he doesn't hear all the rumors, which he hears. It's unlikely you're going to get another Jalen Hurts as you continue to flip this thing over.
Here's where I'll agree with the potential thought process, but flip it positionally a little bit. Not the quarterback, because I do think there's a build-up time. You got to go through startup costs, as your buddy, the former defense coordinator, used to describe it. Oh, yeah, you got to do that at the quarterback position as well. So it's not really a 5-year period. It's more a 4-year period. How about that becomes the way of doing business at the wide receiver position?
Well, it's going to have to, because the Eagles aren't getting involved, man.
We've talked about the blow up of the wide receiver. You think the quarterback money has gone up, the wide receiver money has gone up faster and quicker and a bigger percentage than even the quarterback position. Maybe that's how you handle wideout. That you draft the guy, you keep him for 5 years, you say, thank you very much, let him go sign his $25, $30 million deal with somebody else, and you draft the next stud wide receiver with your first round pick the year.
In a lot of ways, that's already what teams are doing at running back right now. Rarely do you get to a second contract, and when you do, it seems like those teams are always haranguing about it and upset about it, like the Cowboys and Ezekiel Elliott. So yeah, and I'm with the Eagles on this one, because I don't think any receiver is worth it for this reason, Jody. And I say it all the time. I'm not dismissing Devontae Adams. I think he's a phenomenal player. Tyreek Hill, tremendous. Stephon Diggs, I love him. All these are great players, but they're dependent on
QB.
quarterbacks
Yep.
to get them to the football. I, I'm I'm certain, I'm certain Tyreek Hill isn't going to be happy in Miami. Maybe he's happy off the field. On the field, he's not going to be happy. Um, Devontae Adams, Derek Carr, I think, is capable of doing some things, but it's not going to be like it was in Green Bay. So we'll see how that shakes out. Those two are very close off the field. Um, Buffalo's in a little bit of a better situation because they already have it. They have the quarterback and the receiver. So I think that'll be fine. But, let's say the Eagles trade for A.J. Brown or TK Metcalf or Debo Samuel, and they give him the extension and they give him $25 million. They don't have that. They don't have that vehicle to get them the football consistently right now. So I'm with the Eagles. I'm going, and it's a shift. They're going to play this up like if they draft. They had Jamie. What did I tell you about top 30 visits yesterday, Jody? I said pay attention to the positions, not necessarily the players.
Right.
The cluster of positions. Jameson Williams is in. Chris Olave's in now. Pickens from Georgia's in. Over the past 3 days, they've had 3 receivers. This is the way they're going. It's not the way they wanted to go. They wanted a more veteran presence, but this is the way they have to go. And maybe it works out in the end. Maybe it's better to be lucky than good.
And I don't think that's an unreasonable way to do your positional breakout for a decade, because we always thought, well, the only thing that matters is 2 weeks from now, day 1 of the NFL draft. Well, the Eagles already showed you they've got more of an eye on the future than some other teams by doing a deal that they did with the Saints. Jeff Lurie came out, one of the very few times we get to hear from Jeff Lurie. It says we need to worry about the present and the future. So they tip their hand as to their line of thinking. The turnover the wide receiver position every 4 or 5 years is not an outrageous way of doing things. I think it's actually more applicable than the quarterback position, because I think you need to invest some time in a quarterback to start, which makes the turnaround cost even that much more on the back end. I would not be surprised if the Eagles go exactly the way we're talking about here. All right, McMullen and McDonald taking a quickie timeout. Our bud Rob Marty hasn't been with us in about a month. I always check my text when Marty hasn't been on a month. Damn, we got to get him back on. So we're going to do just that. Former Philly guy living down in Florida these days. Don't kid yourself. He still knows plenty of Eagles. Rob Marty from the Associated Press going to be with us next on Birds 365.